Hey guys, listen to this from Hebrews chapter 1. It says, long ago, at many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, and through whom also he created the world. He is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature, and he upholds the universe by the word of his power. After making purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, having become as much superior to angels as the name he has inherited is more excellent than theirs. This is just an amazing passage on the beauty and excellence of the Lord Jesus Christ. You know, the writer to the Hebrews is exhorting these people not to revert back to Judaism. There were people think that it was written to Jewish Christians who, because they were undergoing persecution, were tempted to just give up on Christ and go back to just their Jewish faith. And the writer is saying, if you do that, you're losing everything because Jesus is supreme in every sort of way. So this is just a very powerful uh, 3 or 4 verses. You know, in our culture, very few people are tempted to do that. Very few people are tempted to leave Christ and kind of go back to just observing the Old Testament, if you will, and be Jewish Christians. That's really not our problem for the most part. But we are tempted to give up on Christ. Let's face it, to be a Christian is not an easy thing. To really follow Jesus and deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow him is no small task. And so in our culture, that's our temptation, is to just quit following Christ or never to begin to follow Christ. We love our own autonomy. We love being the God of our own lives, and we don't want to submit to what anybody is saying. So what this writer is saying is that Jesus is so superior and so supreme that we ought to listen to him and we ought to follow him. I want to focus in on just this one little part because I know our time is brief. Verse 3 says that Jesus is the radiance of the glory of God. And what that means is Jesus is like the light that radiates from God, the glory of God. The glory of God is the manifestation of his perfection and uniqueness. And so the writer is definitely attributing deity to Jesus. If you ever hear somebody say, well, where in the Bible does it say that Jesus is God? Hebrews 1:3. That's one place. He is the radiance of the glory of God. And listen to this second part. And the exact imprint of his nature. And so what he is saying is that Jesus is the very imprint, the exact imprint of God's nature. So Jesus was fully God and fully man. Jesus was God in human flesh. If you ever wanted to know what God looks like, all you have to do is take a look at Jesus. So I hope that you are giving the Lord Jesus his proper place in his preeminence and his supremacy and his superiority over all prophets, over all angels, and that you are loving him and obeying him and seeking to follow him. And if you're not, I encourage you, I implore you to submit to Jesus and to follow him. You will be filled with joy from the inside out. There's something special about Jesus. You guys have a great day.